Want to make a podcast? Spotify's got a platform that lets you make one super easily, then distribute it everywhere, and even earn money. We like that. All in one place for totally free. It's called Spotify for Podcasters, and here's how it works. Spotify for Podcasters lets you record and edit podcasts right from your cellular telephone or your computer, so no matter what your setup is like, you can start creating today. Then you can distribute your podcast to Spotify and everywhere else, those other places that podcasts are heard.
Video podcasts are also available on Spotify, and when you want to take conversations with your fans to the next level, Q&As and polls are the best way to get them talking. With Spotify for Podcasters, you can earn money in a variety of ways, including ads and podcast subscriptions. And best of all, it's totally free, zero catch. We've been using it ever since we started How Long Gone. And ever since I discovered Spotify for Podcasters, I feel like having the option of turning off the Q&As and the polls on the user dashboard has really helped boost my creativity and take it to another level. I highly recommend giving it a try. Download the Spotify for Podcasters app or go to www.spotify.com/podcasters to get started. OVO Black. Let's do this, baby. Let's podcast.
What's up, baby? Sorry, I was late because I was busy unpacking a nice little package from the Great White North where I got my OVO Mechanics work gloves so I don't leave any prints on the Draco.
Oh, they finally made it through Canadian Customs.
Customs, I get stuck at customs, but then, I call my people and shit gets pushed through. Certified Lover Boy in stores soon, January 2021. How are you, TJ?
I'm pretty good. I'm glad you brought up gloves because I have been just freezing ever since I was permafrost, perma-chilled.
Can't get it back. You can't get the blood back in your phalanges, bro.
No, I mean I did the infrared sauna and that helped, but like I'm just consistently freezing cold.
I think you should be taking some pills probably to help with blood flow or something. That's what it sounds like to me, like a vitamin.
Yeah, I mean, I do take a lot of pills, but because of that, I did some research and I picked up the Garden of Eden iron and B12 combo pack.
Classic.
That's what I thought. So hopefully, those should be coming from Amazon.ca soon. And then hopefully that will cure what ails me.
My blood's feeling a little thin. I don't know if I'm going to be able to hit Whistler this season.
Yeah, I have a severe case of anemia, and
how do you guys spell that down there? I think it's TIMHORTONS. You know what I'm saying? Can you spell that?
Also,
well,
on the topic of coldness. As winter approaches, I have been unfortunately having to wear pants, and it's really reminding me that sensation that I forget and remember every year of how the world kind of looks at you and treats you differently when you're not wearing shorts.
It's like you get more respect.
Yeah, it's like this thing called respect.
Yeah, Jason. I mean, I think honestly, I don't know if people are able to quickly put together that pants are a tough thing for you because of your height. Mm-hmm. So they're not, that doesn't, unfortunately, the facts aren't able to hinder their judgment.
Obviously.
But it's unfair because you are, disabled as far as pants go.
Yeah, I am a disabled hive, unfortunately, but I welcome that. I like to be kind of the dark horse where I can, you assume that I'm going to be really bad and dumb, and then I win you over in the end eventually is kind of what I'm shooting for. And wearing wearing shorts all day long seems to help out.
I mean, honestly, 70 degrees middle of the day with full sun is pretty nice, but I understand you're used to. Don't worry, next week it's up to 85 again, baby. We're at the pool. You know what I'm saying?
I know, it's going to be so sick.
I mean, Jason, breaking news.
There's a lot of breaking news.
Billie Eilish has posted an excellent music video of her alone gallivanting in the Glendale Galleria. Can we get a comment from the mayor of Glendale, them jeans?
It was kind of nice to see Glendale and Glendale Galleria trending in the music category of Twitter, and for once have it not be involving me, because it takes a lot out of me
You put them on.
carrying
You put
this,
them on.
this entire town on my shoulders. Not unlike the way, your man OVO Aubrey does for the failing town of Toronto, Canada.
It's true. You are the Drake of Glendale. I'll give you that. You're honestly more the Chubbs, but we'll say Drake for this argument.
Look, my BMI cannot allow a nickname like Chubbs to happen, okay?
You're right. That's a good
But
point.
I watched the video and I was like, you know what? I'm actually not mad at, like, I'm not a Billie Eilish hater.
I like the
whatsoever.
song and the video. Weirdly,
Yeah,
Weirdly.
and I was watching and I was like, I'm not mad. Like it sounds cool. My little shooter Phineas is definitely getting his producer.
You know your boy Phineas is getting them little ASCAP checks. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but I think like sonically it sounded like nice and fresh and modern and clean. Like there's some.
We
cool
need to stop,
vocal
Jason.
processing going on.
Stop. Spotify pays us to do this once a week. We can't give the cow away for free.
Yeah, you can get that's just a little whisper. That's just a little piece of gristle off the big fat steak you can get by listening to How Long Gone Radio, available only on Spotify.
Every Saturday, but honestly,
But we
video,
can't talk about videos. We only talk about toonies. Not to bring Canada up again, but yeah, it's it is a cool video, and it appears to be shot inside the Glendale Galleria during off hours. Is that would you agree with that? The Tilly's store was not open, and I know that you can tell when it's open or not.
The Auntie Annie's was unfortunately closed, but Billy was able to grab a pretzel just on the fly. And I
look, she loves to snack. We get it.
I love it. I think it's a great, fun video. It feels very like COVID-y, but in a way that's like it won't get dated. Does that make sense? It feels. Mm-hmm. It feels like it's the perfect combination of like they were able to do it safely, and also you can look at it 10 years from now. It's just a good music video.
Yeah, I think as we continue to live and exist and create content under our COVID blanket, as every day passes, we are going to get better at doing things that are COVID safe as well as just plain good. And I guess this would be another example of that.
Yeah, I mean, I think that making COVID like a character in things is extremely corny. It makes me mad. I don't even like pictures with masks in them.
Yeah, Corona plays itself.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. But I do think this is a nice little workaround she figured out. I don't even know who directed it. I didn't check. But your favorite, speaking of Drake's friend, who sounds like the fella who sang on Thriller. The Weeknd, the Weeknd playing the Super Bowl. I'm saying bad idea. TJ, I'm a Weeknd lover. You're a known Weeknd hater. I think we both agree it's a bad idea, though. He's not the right person to play the Super Bowl in America.
Yeah, we were discussing this. Yeah, I mean, not the Super Bowl in America, but is there another country? I mean, I'm sure like somewhere in Romania. Not to get Eastern European on today's podcast, but. There's somewhere where the Weeknd is by far, like the perfect candidate for whatever their version of the Super Bowl is. In America, I don't think is that. I am a Weeknd hater. I think that he is a bit of a snooze man. He doesn't really get my little ding dong hard whatsoever. And I think for the Super Bowl, it's really all about that kind of high energy, over the top, like even fucking Black Eyed Peas are a better, more sensical fit than this. But it just reminds you of like, watching Prince play the Super Bowl in the rain, and like, Madonna and Coldplay and U2 and the Stones, and you're like, all right, is the Weeknd.
But the thing is, and this is what David Cho, our friend in the chat, was saying, he does have the numbers on paper. The slaps are that big. Like, you know what I mean? Like if you're looking at figures, the slap's that big. But I think culturally, he's weirdly not as big as even like J-Lo and Shakira. Yeah, you know what I mean?
No, I agree. Well, I think, that argument could be made on the other side of what our version of a Super Bowl act is might be different, or it may have changed now that we are old and washed up. But I'd like to think that we are kind of the target age range demo of like cool enough to know about cool stuff, young enough to know about popular young kid music, but also old enough to be like have an idea of what we think a Super Bowl live performance.
I mean,
act
yeah,
should be.
I just want the Rolling Stones to play it until they die. But unfortunately, I recognize that that is not a reasonable request. But I think that he will go full insane on like the production, the visuals and stuff. But I just don't. I don't know if that's enough.
But is he going to have backup dancers?
It'll probably be more like crazy screen. You know what I mean? Like I don't think it'll be backup dancers. I do think he'll have to bring out guests. I mean, that's also what everybody does because it's like the reality is the weekend doesn't.
Who's he going to bring out? Belly?
He better. He's going to bring out Nav.
I mean, the big like he did a song with Travis Scott. Who
what if he brought out?
Argued that Travis Scott is definitely a more famous and as far as a live performance goes. Travis Scott can sell way more tickets than The Weeknd.
I don't think that's true. Actually, I think Weeknd's selling out stadiums. I think they may be equal in ticket sales, but I think
they're both selling out stadiums. But I think that Travis is he's bringing the house down.
No, Travis has less songs, and the only reason he's so famous is because of the Kardashians. Like he doesn't actually have songs. He has one or two songs, like for real, and one is a Drake song. If we're being honest.
I agree. I mean, I hate Travis Scott, but I also think that Travis would do better. He's been on more songs that he can take and perform.
Yeah, true. He just doesn't have a star quality to me. He like tries to hide his face and shit. You know what I mean? It's like annoying. It's like he's a teenager.
Yeah, so does The Weeknd. He fucking covers his face in bandages every day, even though that was like the last album cycle. The guy's a goddamn freak. Travis is ripping his shirt off, screaming, starting mosh pits. He's sweating like a whore in church. He's leaving it all on the stage, and then
so once again, Travis Scott is stealing the swag of hardcore, much like Odd Future. I don't want to. These guys are moshing. It's crazy. I'm like, yeah, I know. Moshing has been around for a long time, guys. Have you ever heard of a little band called Bad Brains?
Look, there's a lot of dorks who are just discovering moshing, but I would rather see. I mean, I hate Travis Scott and I hate what he's done for music, but. I would, in a million years, rather see him ripping it up, having Future come out and sing some shit, jumping into the crowd, like putting on a show because it's the fucking Super Bowl, not The Weeknd being like, "Look what you've done."
But that's the thing. That's the thing, Jason. They're not gonna let Travis Scott do. That's the thing. You don't do your regular show at the Super Bowl no matter who you are. So Travis Scott isn't gonna climb up the fucking the stage and then
yes,
stage
he will. He's a freak, bro. He's a legend, and he's gonna lay it out. And he should
Jason,
be doing it.
He's a 30-year-old multimillionaire who lives in suburban Texas and has a child with a Kardashian. Okay, that's what he is.
Sure. And well, who do you think would? I mean, I think right now we could use a Coldplay Super Bowl live performance. What do you think? I don't think people want to. I think Luke Combs. I've never heard of any of his music before, but he would probably make a lot more people happy than The Weeknd for the Super Bowl.
I don't know. It depends on who The Weeknd brings out. If he brings out my boss Drake and they do Crew Love, I mean, then it's a fucking movie and every the world is right again. So
yes. Yeah. Which song is Crew Love your parents' favorite song that he's done, or which one is it?
My mom really likes Marvin's Room because she's kind of like in her bag, like emo girl. But my dad is definitely when he's mobbing out with the Goonies and the Honda Civic, he's definitely listening to.
All right, when my racist aunt and uncle are watching this, which collaborators do you think they will like the most? Whoever The Weeknd brings out.
I think Carrie Underwood. I think Carrie Underwood.
No, I mean of all the
his
massive,
actual collaborations.
Yeah, the massive stars. The blockbuster talent who have collaborated and appeared on Weeknd songs. We have Belly and Future and Drake. Who else is going to be able to bring the house down and like my racist aunt and uncle will want to see?
Great question.
The answer is there is nobody, and that's why The Weeknd is because we have to appeal and pander to all of the 19-year-old TikTokers who are watching this, as well as all of the racist aunties and uncles who are at home watching this. We can't lose their vote.
But you can't win. You can't win with a Super Bowl performance. That's the problem. It's like if U2 plays, all the young people are like, "Who are these fucking foreign granddads?" You know, if the Weeknd plays, it's like, "Who is this? I've never heard it before." They might know the song, but they don't know who he is.
Yeah, that's why I say a nice little Coldplay. Everyone's gonna go home happy because right now we need uplifting, emotional music. We need grand, epic live performances. We don't need a guy singing about how he can't feel his face about cocaine unless it was actually a cool song about cocaine.
That's a great song. It's an absolute classic. Are you suggesting
that sounds
Jason,
like fucking Bruno Mars?
Yeah, and Bruno Mars was probably the most popular Super Bowl performer of all time.
Yes.
So
I'm saying don't fake it. Just do have Bruno Mars play again if we ain't got nobody else.
I thought you were suggesting that How Long Gone takes over actually and does a 15-minute live performance during the Super Bowl halftime show.
I could do a Coldplay mash. I mean, if they get the right CDJs in my rider for the Super Bowl, I can actually make a lot happen.
So, all right, so you DJ, and then what's the guy from Major Laser's name that like jumps around? Walshy? Is that who it is?
Yeah, we'll get Walshy to come out.
No. I'm Walshy.
Oh.
See, so that way I'm just hyping the crowd up, saying, "You guys ready for some football, et cetera, et cetera," and you're just playing Coldplay mashups for 15 minutes. This is a good idea.
And I'll go, "Ladies and gentlemen, Dua Lipa," and then I just play a Dua Lipa mashup, and they're like, "Okay, I mean, I'll take it," and then a fucking sick ass light happens.
But I do think that historically there have been some nice, multi-artist performances that have probably worked the best because, when you put all your eggs in one basket, it's destined to pass or fail versus spreading your seed is probably a better choice. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Well, I gotta say, I usually don't like football. I don't really care for it whatsoever, but I am excited every year for the Super Bowl because, all of my other friends can get together. And they can, exchange a bunch of different snack foods, and we can all, I see a bunch of old friends I haven't seen in a long time, et cetera, et cetera.
I hate football. I hate food. I don't really like friends, so it's a tough holiday for me personally. But I at least I'm not the guy who watches it for the ads. There's nothing worse than that.
Yeah, Super Bowl ads. There's nothing really going on there.
Let's make some announcements for our Twitch show this Friday live at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This week we have a guest, Caroline Goldfarb. You may know her as official Sean Penn on Instagram. She's very, very funny. She'll be joining us live in studio, as well as a special a beverage tasting. TJ and I are going to be bussing down a case of the new Miracle Seltzer collaboration with Pickle Rick. So it's seltzer.
Chris Black is the biggest Rick and Morty fan I've met.
I'm a huge Rick and Morty fan. So they've collaborated on a seltzer water that is pickle flavored, which sounds absolutely demented to me. But I've heard from other athletes that it's great for recovery. So my interest is peaked. So I have a case in the fridge here at Villa Carlotta. I'll be bringing downtown to the studio so the three of us can sip on some pickle juice while we chat.
I've heard from other athletes.
Yeah, what's funny about that? I'm sorry.
The Tough Mudder community message board.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
the CrossFit Discord has been lit up.
The Tough Mudder. No, there is a pickle juice they sell at like Lassen's that is billed for recovery. Actually, that's not a joke.
Damn. Okay. Well, we'll see. I'll give it a taste. I don't know if it can go toe to toe with Grillo's, the #1 pickle company, but we'll have to see.
Well, they're not making a seltzer, so that's not up for discussion. As well as, Jason, we do have a guest today. You guys might be familiar with her podcast. It's called Red Scare, and her name is Dasha
Nekrasova.
We're going to really get into it with her. I'm sure she's really excited to join us for our podcast. I'm sure she's psyched.
Hey, who knows? She might be psyched. I mean, obviously, probably not that psyched to talk to us.
Do you think Dasha is a goner?
No.
We'll see about that. Okay, let's give Dasha a call. Let's see what's really going on in the streets of rainy New York today. It's so nice to be once again chatting with an elite podcaster, Jason.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean we chat with a lot of losers on this show, but you You have a lot of pod hours under your belt. How many episodes have you guys done?
Oh my god. We've crossed our 300 threshold.
Damn, bro.
Recently, so we're
it's
Congrats. We just recently crossed the 100 threshold.
I saw that when I was researching your pod.
We're nipping at your heels. So why were you researching our pod?
Because I've never listened to it.
We were under the impression that you never listened to it, but I would love to know what you discovered when you were researching it.
Well, honestly, I agreed to come on your show when I was drunk.
Okay. Thank you.
But I am a woman of my word, so
we appreciate that. Well, we'll try to make it, as enjoyable as possible.
No, you guys seem like you're killing it. You had a nice profile. One would think that perhaps you guys were even industry plants of some kind.
Wow,
that's kind of the idea we're hoping to achieve. Yeah,
you seem.
I take offense to that, but I'm also really complimented by that. So thank you, thank you. Industry plant. When I think of an industry plant, where does your head go first? Mine goes to her, the musical artist, the guitar player that's no one's ever heard.
Yeah, I think of Clairo or whatever her name is.
We just talked about Clairo. I don't know if she is an industry plant.
That's just what I've heard other people say.
Yeah, I've heard that a lot.
And I'm very susceptible. So
I think we're post caring about industry plants nowadays. It's not really a thing that we check for.
Yeah, we just kind of take it for granted.
Well, it's like sellout culture that just doesn't exist anymore. Everybody just does their thing, and it's cool to get rich.
Yeah.
That's the only way you can do it. It's the only way you can live is patronage.
By accruing lots of capital, exactly.
I love accruing capital. I wake up every day and I say, let's accrue this capital.
So you're in New York. I just recently I've been seeing on people's stories that are just for friends that there's a lockdown coming down. But I haven't been able to read anything about it. Do you know any info?
I don't have the insider scoop, but that's the tensions seem to be high for sure.
Damn.
And
in the streets or on IRL? You mean it feels wild?
No, well, the streets
just the talk
have been
of the
wild
town.
for the talk of the town. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Have you been turning up all summer outdoors?
No, I really haven't. I am. If I was like 5 years younger, even I think I would have had a really eventful summer, but I've been pretty sequestered.
That's what I said to people too. I'm like, it looks cool if you're 25. It's probably really fun. But
yeah, exactly.
I'm not interested in sitting. I'm not really like a public park guy. So
no, and I don't want to sit next to someone like shooting up, or that doesn't make me feel alive anymore.
Do you think you got all the partying out of your system, or in your 20s already? Because I feel like I just turned 40 and I feel like I never need to do it again.
I relate to that. I mean, definitely when I was younger, I had this almost overwhelming anxiety that I like wasn't having enough fun. And I was very much chasing the dragon to try and optimize the amount of fun I could have. And I think I kind of peaked for sure.
Did you grow up straight edge as well then? Because I felt the same. I felt the same thing.
Hold on, we're relating hard right now.
I'm assuming you didn't grow up straight edge.
You grew up straight edge?
Yeah, both of us did.
We both did. I was also vegan in high school to make it extra obnoxious.
When did you break edge?
I did a line of cocaine when I was 19 before I'd ever had a sip of alcohol.
Wow, that's
I didn't know that,
shocking.
Chris. That's awful.
It's pretty cool, honestly, I would say, Jason.
I smoked weed from a bubbler as the first thing I ever had. But even before I had one puff of a cig, it was bad. But once I realized that you can use alcohol and drugs to like meet people and have sex with them, I went hog wild. And then, possibly to my detriment.
I mean, I remember I did not grow up straight edge. I definitely had like a juvenile form of alcoholism, but I didn't really smoke weed until I got to college and stuff. And I remember the first time I was cross-faded. It was very
Crossfade.
I mean,
what
if
the
if
fuck?
you're able to successfully crossfade, it feels so good, but the risk
let's-
the risk is so high.
I couldn't believe it.
Dasha, can we? I just want to situate maybe some of our narc listeners. What can you explain to them what the crossfade is
It's
exactly?
when you are drunk and smoke weed at the same time.
Thank you for that. Just wanted to get some clean audio of that.
So
to
what
make sure.
what was your beverage of choice when you were a juvenile semi-alcoholic?
I would binge drink vodka that was like in my parents' freezer.
Just like straight from the frozen bottle?
Yeah, I would just try to drink as much as I could as quickly as I could.
like you didn't know when your next meal was going to come energy?
Exactly. Yeah.
Jesus.
Because I grew up in the suburbs of Las Vegas, so I was like extremely isolated and bored.
What was what? I'm sorry, suburbs of Las Vegas. I can't even imagine what that's like, really.
It's really boring. It's boring. It's.
But were you coming into the city and sneaking into casinos?
I went to high school downtown, which is not like the strip that most people think about when they think about Las Vegas. It has like older casinos, so I would like lurk around there and stuff. But it wasn't. It's not. It doesn't sound as eventful as it seems.
We've both, Jason and I both been to that part of Las Vegas, and I would agree it doesn't seem eventful.
Talking about Sam's Town?
Exactly.
Sure.
You know, I don't. I just, just when that ever comes up, it is my favorite Killers album. I'm sure Dasha feels the same way.
I feel exactly the same way, and I'm a huge Killers fan.
Are you really?
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, Chris is a very big Killers fan.
They're an awesome band, and I'm so
They
proud
should
of
play
them.
the Super Bowl this year.
That'd be a good Super Bowl candidate. Good. That's a good point, Jason. Yeah, we were trying to get.
We were just talking about how much I hate The Weeknd right before we hopped on with you.
Why do you hate The Weeknd?
I mean, I do like his song that he created with 10 Tricks Point Never on his new album recently, but I just don't really enjoy his music in general. I don't know. It doesn't have the balls. It doesn't have any
What about his earlier stuff? That's more about his, tortured relationship to drugs and whatnot.
That was a little bit cooler, but I kind of didn't believe it.
No, The Weeknd confirmed was on heroin, Jason. It's like, it's cool. He did it all.
He was like a Toronto bum. Or something.
Goddamn Toronto bum.
I don't know.
I mean, that was just a blind spot for me. But when I heard when his first mixtape came out, I was like, okay, yeah, this is chill. But I don't know. I'm more of a Chris Brown fan.
Wow.
I need a 360 entertainer. You know what I mean?
Totally.
Jason likes, if you can't do a backflip standing, Jason doesn't want to hear your music.
I'd rather not.
He's definitely a better dancer than The Weeknd. I mean, by far. But he's such a good dancer. It makes me feel like he's a demon. He's like a devilishly good dancer.
Only somebody who's possessed by the Dark Lord could move and shuck and jive like that.
It's such a sinister. The way he shakes his hips is just sinister. He's a ghoul.
It's a sin.
Well, he does. I told Jason this week. It's breaking news, but I believe that Chris Brown and Drake have a mixtape coming out, which seems insane for 2020.
I'm here for it.
Yeah.
Even cooler, Chris Brown has an OnlyFans. What do you think is gonna go on his OF?
Yikes.
Would you pay $20 a month to see Chris Brown's worm?
You know it's going to be real long and skinny, right? And it's also it's going to be tatted up. It's going to be more tatted up than Dennis Rodman's dick.
Yeah, there's definitely. I would pay $20 to see the secret body mods. For sure.
He got some like lizard scale thingies injected. He's a modaholic.
I bet he does have weird mods under the clothes, though. I bet he has like one of those piercings that's just like under the skin that looks like lumps.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh,
we were talking about veganism earlier. Did you recently become veg?
I became mostly vegan. Yeah.
What is keeping you from being full veg?
Well, if I go to a restaurant or something, which I do much, less frequently than I used to.
Mm-hmm.
But I can't, I can't really resist like a nice steak every once in a while.
Oh, wow. Okay, so it's not even like a little cream or cheese. It's a full steak.
Yeah, I'm not like a militant vegan at all, but in the home, I have a kosher home, if you will.
So you became vegan because of your life partner as well? Is that correct?
Yeah,
sort of?
Basically.
So when you eat the steak, do you do it alone or do you do it when he's around?
We've gone to steakhouses together.
Okay, so that's cool.
What steakhouses are you guys hitting?
We went to Donahue's a couple months ago when I was getting really into the show Billions because they go there a lot on Billions.
We could do a full hour on Billions. That show is fucking great.
Did you get a baller piece of Wagyu?
I got a very reasonable fillet.
Okay, that's fine.
I think I probably have one of those blood types that is iron.
Gotta have my red.
Needs to supplement with.
Jason, I think Jason's having a lot of problems being cold here in LA, but I think it's because he's got blood problems. I think he needs.
Yeah, my hand.
Are you vegan?
I'm not vegan. I'm just skinny.
He's a big bitch, and there's a lot of like the blood is just not getting to the end.
Yeah, I'm
6'9",
so my extremities are often pretty cold. So my hands and feet, everything else is okay. But I did recently pick up some iron and B12 pills to see how it goes.
Do you exercise?
I do, yeah. I do pretty often.
That's all the advice I have for you.
Thanks, Doc.
Yeah,
I'm a doctor. Yeah.
My girlfriend tells me to quit smoking, then that will help my circulation. But I don't know if that's going to happen.
That's true, actually. I've heard that as well.
Smoking's the only cool thing you have left. You should probably hang on. It's your coolest accessory.
So, what types of vegan foods are you enjoying lately? Have you made any discoveries about some vegan alternatives or anything?
There's a brand I really like whose name escapes me, but I like mushrooms a lot. I think mushrooms are really versatile. And a really good meat. I'm not.
No, dead ass.
They're a dead ass good meat substitute.
Have you ever slurped down a nice chanterelle?
Yeah, I fucking have.
To me, that's the Rolls Royce of fungi. You get a little butter in the pan, and then my secret, a little soy sauce at the end to really bump up that umami factor.
Yeah.
Yeah, first two free.
Would you call that a soy sauce finisher, Jason?
Not in those words.
Okay. I was just wondering. I didn't know if there was a proper name for it.
Sorry.
Potatoes are a good staple. I learned about TVP crumbles, which are really easy to make.
What's TVP? I don't know that one.
Textured vegetable protein, bitch.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like a dehydrated little turds, and then you soak them in some water.
Yeah, and they become like flavorless ground, like a.
You can get them in you can get them in these things, and they're kind of. It looks like Chinese food, like orange chicken style nuggies. Whip them up with a little sweet and sour sauce over a brown rice bowl. Mamma mia!
I mean, I love it. It's really improved my quality of life being vegan.
Really?
Really?
Yeah, because I don't really care about food that much anyway.
You're a sustenance bitch, just like me. We eat to live, not live to eat.
Exactly. And it's just a very straightforward kind of dietary restriction, and I've lost like 10 pounds.
Go off.
This year and stuff, and I just kind of feel like I have more energy and
I'm proud.
Better in general. Thanks. Yeah, it was easy. It was easy if you if you
don't care about yummy ass food.
If you're not a foodie, then you might as well eat cardboard anyway.
It's very easy though. It really is. In 2020, it's very easy. It's not the hurdles are no longer there like they used to be.
So in 2020, there's not really a whole lot that we can do, and we're just kind of in our homes right now. What are some of your extravagant Patreon purchases lately? What are you dropping the big bags on?
Yeah, because we know we see how much you motherfuckers are making. You got some money to spend.
Drop the real cart, sis.
I just got a Prada bag.
Mm-hmm.
What kind? Can you show us, please?
It's like a nylon. It's very normal.
Oh, a
It's like
classic black
small
nylon
tote.
I like that the logo is on the side versus the front.
Yeah, I love that too.
Chic.
It's a nice detail, nice Velcro pocket. It's kind of versatile.
Sure.
I had a lot of anxiety about almost being 30 and still carrying like a mini backpack around, like a little kindergartner.
Yeah, you should have anxiety around that. I'm glad you made the change.
So I was in the market for a grown-up bag, and that's what I procured. Yeah, I'll make like a flagrant far-fetched purchase every now and then.
So it's mostly clothing or luxury goods.
Yeah.
You haven't bought like a car or something.
I don't know how to drive. And I didn't make money. I've never really made money before. So this was the first year that I had to pay taxes, and I was not prepared for that. So I'm not exactly rolling in it, but I'm getting my finances in order.
Yeah, do you guys have a team of business managers and accountants?
We have a
ready to
business
go?
manager, yeah.
That's a very important step in anyone's life.
How does it
God.
feel? How does it feel to go from not really making enough to even bother having to pay the taxes to having a business manager?
Awesome. And having a business manager was a huge relief, because Anna and I both were we would have been audited or in a debtor's prison by now anyway.
Is he like the kind of business manager that's like calls you frantically like, what the fuck are you spending on? Or is it more reasonable than
He
that?
or she?
It is a man. And he is is Jewish, so
Copy that.
no, I would thought he could be more involved than he is, but I appreciate the freedom.
For the chunk
you
he's
have to-
taken, he could pick up his phone a little bit faster.
He's accessible, but I need someone maybe he could be more on top of me, you know.
He could be proactive versus accessible. It's two different approaches to money management.
Yeah.
So do you guys have any goals with the podcast that you have not achieved yet?
We're trying to get Camille Pally on. That's like been a big aspiration of ours for a while. We'd like to. Do you guys have a producer, or do you guys just do it?
Just do it.
We split
Yeah.
the work.
Yeah, he handles the booking, and then I produce it and do all the other stuff.
That's a fair division of labor. Yeah.
It is.
What do you do?
I record the pod and Anna posts it, but we do it in person. We meet up.
That's not. Yeah, we have never done a podcast in person with How Long Gone because we just think it's funny, kind of.
Wow.
Yeah, I
started-
kind of. Have
You guys talk on the phone before?
We've been
Did
friends
you-
for like
we've known each other for a
15
long time.
years.
But
Yeah.
did you have sort of a rapport that you thought would translate well to? What made you take the jump?
Jason was like a very early podcaster. He had a show called Tall Tales, and so I was a guest on that many times. So we knew that the demand was there.
The formula was working.
Yes, we knew the formula was working, and then when quarantine hit, we just decided to go for it, and we were doing it. I was in Montreal, and Jason was in LA. And then I ended up coming here, but we still haven't done one in the same place.
I kind of like.
Nice.
I don't like doing. I used to be like a staunch. You have to be in the room to get the energy and the flow and all that shit. And now I would prefer not to, because I feel like I'm just able to say things more naturally if I'm not looking at somebody eye to eye. I don't even like looking at you right now on this screen. I would. I want to be staring at a wall, and then you can really let it spray.
You feel freer.
Yeah.
I get it. I do like the vibe.
Of
what?
IRL?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, you can read the body language and all that stuff a little bit better.
Anna and I, we just have that. We have a synergy that doesn't translate quite as well.
The electricity is just there, IRL.
And I actually had a nightmare last night. A podcasting nightmare.
Was it that you had to come on this show today,
Yeah.
or
Did Spotify give Joe, did he take Joe Rogan's money back? Like, how big of a nightmare was this?
No, it was like a Safdie brothers movie about like where like I was recording the pod and then I realized that I had been holding my Juul instead of the microphone for like who knows for how long, and we had all these like technical problems. It was very like high energy stress dream, but around the very benign frustrations of recording a podcast.
I've had a lot of dreams like that, not about podcasts specifically because I run a tight ship, but for other little like kind of menial minutia tasks like that. And you wake up all sweaty and shit. It's an awful feeling. You feel kind of dumb.
We were like under insane pressure to do a good podcast or else, and and things are going wrong left and right.
If you smoke enough weed, you don't really have dreams anymore. Give it a shot.
I have not found that to be true.
Really?
I smoke weed kind of most days.
On the reg?
On the reg, yeah. And I still have pretty vivid dreams.
Once I started smoking every night, lonely stoner style, I pretty much stopped having all dreams.
Did you really, TJ?
Yeah, like if I skip a day, I will dead ass have a dream every single time.
Wow.
Not a lot. That
sounds peaceful. Well, I take Ambien too, so that might be.
Really?
Yeah. Don't bury the lead.
They might cancel each other out.
What time do you wake up in the morning?
It depends. I like to wake up around 9. That's like a good.
That's not that bad. But are you a night owl?
I am a little bit of a night owl. Mm-hmm. I mean, today I woke up at like 11.
Jason and I are in. I'm in bed by 9, up by 5.
Is that true?
Yeah, I'm on my CEO shit. Don't laugh.
He's on his billions fucking. I'm
on my billions.
Right, I get it.
I'm on my billions flow. Yeah.
You're the regular Axelrod. You gotta get up before the market opens.
Exactly. They call me Chris Axelrod in the streets. That's really true. I moved out to Connecticut to lay low. But
what are you doing fitness wise?
Oh God. I have a kettlebell.
Okay. How many LBs are we working with?
20.
That's good.
That's pretty serious.
I mean, I had a personal trainer before pandemic. Mm-hmm. And then I was in LA over the summer, and when they opened Equinoxes there, I went and worked with a personal trainer. But now that's inaccessible to me, so I kind of just do the kettlebell stuff that my personal trainer taught me every once in a while. Mm-hmm. And that
you should check out
bi-monthly.
Yeah.
You should check out Pavel if you haven't checked out Pavel before.
I've seen Pavel, yeah. Enter the kettlebell.
Yeah.
Of course. My former roommate, got really into him during quarantine, and he got totally jacked.
Really?
Yeah. He like turned his fucking life around. So the kettlebell is real.
It is real. That's why there was such a shortage of them. I think people saw that it really worked pretty quick.
Isn't it cool when someone getting jacked really does turn their life around?
Yeah. I mean, it's because New York got so scary, like during early lockdown, and we were downtown. I think he realized he had to kind of bulk up or be vulnerable to violence and crime. Yeah.
Violence and crime. So is it because look, I live in the East Village. I haven't been back in like 8 months. So what's the vibe? Are people shooting up on the street still? Is it really like that?
Well, like at Tompkins, but that's kind of par for the course.
Yeah.
No, now that it's getting colder, it's mellowing out, and now Cuomo says the restaurants have to close at 10, which will dampen everyone's spirits more. And I think.
Do you think people regret sexualizing Cuomo now, or do you think they're still riding high on that cuck?
I think some people still, think are still Cuomo-sexuals or whatever.
I hate that. I hate it so much. It makes me crazy. It makes me crazy because he's not even hot. That's the thing. If he was actually hot, it'd be fine.
I find him. I understand. I get why he's not the best, but I did find him. I found his little reports to be comforting.
Well, that was kind of charming in general, I think. Like the idea.
He's
of
endearing.
that.
I'm definitely not sexually attracted to him, but he does have an endearing kind of.
I mean, by New York standards, he's not that hot. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we do things differently, TJ.
He's an Idaho 8.
Right. He's in New York, like a New York 3.
He's
probably.
a New York 2 tree. I don't know.
Do not.
What? Do you have any plans on coming out to Cali?
I do. I want to spend some time there, probably in January, February.
Yeah. How's your relationship with Cali?
Pretty good. I lived in LA for like 5 years.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
So it's a little Yeah, I haven't been in New York that long.
Were you acting in LA?
I was trying to. Mostly I was
Aren't we all, honey?
Yeah, really. It's a little haunted for me in that regard because I really, it was marked by a lot of failure.
Yeah. What were your LA haunts back in the day?
I lived in K-Town, and because I don't drive, I mostly stayed in K-Town, which was great for me because it's a very walkable part of town, and I like
the few.
I mean, HMS Bounty, Prince, and most people will travel to those bars to meet you anyway because they're so kind of pleasant.
I miss having a nice White Russian from the Prince. Best one in town.
Really?
Yeah, they do a little shaved nutmeg fresh on top. It's truly special.
The Prince was a beautiful restaurant. Yeah.
I know.
Is it not open? LA's not doing indoor dining now?
No.
Fuck,
No
damn.
indoor. Like
It's actually.
yeah, we just have to dine in parking lots, and it's really kind of depressing and bizarre. Like unless the restaurant already has like an outdoor patio, like a Cheesecake Factory.
But a lot of them do.
A lot of them do, yeah.
You would think more would, considering the weather, though. This is kind of. I feel like this has shined a light on the fact that there's not more here.
The loss of alfresco options.
Yeah, like in New York, I know you guys are like eating on the sidewalk, which doesn't really excite me either, though. So I don't know.
And like pretending that it's charming.
Yeah, I don't know what's better or worse. Really, it seems kind of the same.
But we're transitioning into inside.
But it's like what 25% or something.
Yeah, it's not great.
I'm
I'm
jealous.
supposed to go to Odeon tonight.
Are you go?
Damn, I'm so jealous.
You're not posting this today, right?
No, we posted it tomorrow. It posts tomorrow though. It does post tomorrow.
So I won't.
Yeah,
be
is that something that you guys have to
approached.
worry about? You're, divulging your location a little bit. I mean, I don't like to do it, and I'm like a grown man who nobody wants to have sex with. So, but you never can tell.
Yeah, I definitely wouldn't advertise my whereabouts in advance.
You guys get some real freaks, don't you?
Yeah. I mean, it's not terrible, but in like the Dime Square area in the Lower East Side, it's probably has the highest concentration of Red Scare listeners anywhere.
Per capita. So, I guess people have to worry about that more like virtually or digital, like the YouTube comments or whatever. But like it's something you have to worry about of like IRL interactions, perhaps.
It's not like
It's not a worry.
A worry, like for my bodily safety, exactly.
But you're sick and tired of taking selfies, signing autographs, like kissing babies. It's annoying. You're just trying to eat with your family. I'm just out with my kids
I'm just a
tonight.
normal person, just like any other person.
I can't even go to the mall no more.
I just happen to have a podcast.
Yeah, I get it, sweetie. Trust me, I can relate. It's crazy. They come up to me everywhere. I can't go to Air One without one person asking for something.
There.
one person per quarter.
Yeah, exactly. I didn't say how many quarters, but that Dime Square is a hotbed. I can imagine you have to.
Yeah.
It's coming at you from every angle.
Well, what I hate more, what's more anxiety inducing is not like people approaching me, but when people reach out to me online afterwards and tell me that they saw me someplace, because then that reaffirms a kind of constant like feeling of like, are people fucking looking at me?
That's like the move of like, hey, I saw you. You looked really pretty at this bar tonight. I saw you at Tenants of the Trees, and you looked really cute. I just wanted to say hi. I couldn't, like that kind of energy is always
it's called Craigslist misconnections, Jason. There's a name for that.
it's hard for my fellas out here to approach ladies in person, or vice versa. But yeah, that is the most kind of creepy energy that you can get.
I'd much prefer if someone just said, "Hey, fan of the pod. Nice to meet you."
Give you one of these, dap it up.
Yeah, exactly.
Dap it up. Yeah, Jason lives in the suburbs because of the fear of the fans, so he can relate. He really can.
Hey, they have podcasts in Glendale, baby.
You're in Glendale?
I'm in Glendale, yeah.
Are you a fan of the Galleria or do you like the Americana or the Grove better?
I'm first of all, great podcast question. You're the last podcaster to ask that question. Now everyone has. No, I'm Americana man all the way. Grove has better looking people because the tourists go there. But for a real LA is LA. I'm actually going on date night to the Americana tonight.
Nice.
Al fresco cheesecake fact.
Beautiful.
She could order anything she wants.
Hey, baby, get more of that free bread. That's
we're going to put our name down and then walk around, maybe look at the iPhones at the Apple store.
That sounds very, very nice. I look forward to returning.
See, like those kinds of dumb activities, it's just very comforting. Not every day of your life, but sometimes it's good to see how the other half live, I think.
What other half?
Just like people who don't...
Armenians.
Just people who don't like, who are not in our world, who are not like, did you hear this freaking podcast about blah, 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 and Billie Eilish video and this thingy happened? Like, just regular
people who aren't
people.
In demand influencers.
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
People
micro celebrities.
I don't want to say it. I don't want to say it, but people that might not understand what a blue check really does.
Mm-hmm.
They have to like buy their own clothes instead of having them sent to them, like weird shit like that.
Can you imagine that, bro? It's crazy. It's crazy.
Hoi polloi.
Oh yeah,
so
exactly. So you just directed a video recently.
I did.
Was that your first vid direction?
I forayed into music video making, but I directed a film earlier this year.
Mm-hmm. That's the Epstein. What's it called again?
It's called The Scary of 61st Street.
The Scary of 61st Street.
And it's a psychosexual thriller set in the aftermath of Jeffrey Epstein's death.
Mm-hmm. and
is the elevator pitch.
It rolls off the tongue pretty well.
It does. It does. Flowing, just flowing.
What has to happen to have a movie be psychosexual? Like a nasty ass rape?
That's a good question. I think it has to have both sexual content and psychological content.
Got it. Okay, cool. So it was a little more clear than you thought, Jason.
So the one,
I guess maybe I was hoping for more of an example of some.
Set a scene.
So the character in my film becomes sort of possessed by a pedophilic force after she unknowingly moves into an apartment that she discovers used to belong to Jeffrey Epstein.
Okay.
So it's a kind of like The Tenant. It's about like the unspeakable, horrible things that had happened in this space that then caused this character to go insane and act out in these very like sexually explicit ways.
If these twisted walls could talk.
Exactly.
If these walls could rape.
If these walls could rape.
Is this a feature?
If you're looking for a different title in another country, sometimes they have to change the titles of movies around.
Is this a feature? This is a feature length film, correct?
It is, yeah.
What did you shoot it on 16?
I shot it on 16 millimeter. Yeah, my cinematographer Hunter Zimney did a very great job.
This sounds like a lot of work.
It was very hard.
Damn, bitch, you made a movie? That sounds like a lot of work.
It was fucking hard, and I I'm not crazy about working. So I must have really cared.
Welcome to the club. That's why we podcast.
So what's the next steps? Are we trying to sell this son of a bitch? What's going on?
We received some very good news from a film festival that I'm not at liberty to disclose yet, but that's hopefully we'll have a premiere.
Cool.
All right,
congratulations.
Thank you.
We'll see you at Sundance, sweetie. What is the who paid for the movie? Who paid to make this movie?
My producers who have a company called Stag Pictures.
Okay.
Who I was introduced to just from my writing partner's former boyfriend, introduced us to these guys who wanted to produce want to get into like horror movie production. So that's how we worked together.
Money, you can find money anywhere. I love that.
wasn't that a Sopranos storyline as well?
Huh? Like when Christopher becomes a screenwriter.
They were using horror movies as money laundering.
Oh, I don't remember the details of that, but horror movies are super profitable. It's actually
it's a very
decent
profitable genre.
investment.
Isn't it also? It's commonly like a jumping off point for a career because it's a lot of actors and actresses do them early on.
It's a great way to get your foot in that spooky little door.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing spookier than Hollywood.
That's for damn sure.
So, speaking of spooky, how did it feel to have the music video you directed be premiered on Jimmy Fallon?
Good. It was nice.
I mean, it's kind of weird, just like in 2020, like a live band performance is like recorded in some room somewhere else, and then this guy edits it, and that person directs it, and then a month later, it's a live show on NBC that you watch. Your mom watches on TV. It's bizarre.
It was weird. And I really wanted it to feel like a late night performance, which is why Dan sort of restructured the song like for a live band, rather than like doing a solitary synth thing.
Yeah. I love the video, by the way. You did a great job.
Thank you.
The video is cool. The video is cool. The song's good too.
The song's very late night. I grew up watching Letterman. He was a big influence on my personality and stuff, I think. And I kind of believe that late night is low-key the backbone of this country.
Yeah.
So I was very honored to get to be a part of any late night production.
What do you think about Letterman's Netflix show?
It's okay. I kind of, it's...
I worry that he's about to be a little too old to have it work. I think he's teetering.
Maybe already crossed that threat. I think he retired for a reason,
Mm-hmm. I just think I like him with the conventions of late night. I don't like the format as much. Mm-hmm. That's what I don't like about it as much.
You don't like him so loosey-goosey?
I mean, I used to see him in Tribeca sometimes, and it would shock me for some reason. Like I saw him like a lot because he lived down the street, so I would like kind of see him all the time, and he's such a celebrity to me in like a different way.
I don't know what I would do if I saw him. I would be very starstruck, probably.
Is he your Whitney Port?
With beard or without, though. With beard or without.
Either way, honestly.
Really?
I mean, just to glimpse.
Yeah.
I like the beard. I'm a fan of the beard. I thought it was an elegant option.
I think it looks good on him too, actually. I totally agree with you.
And it was nice. I imagine he must have felt very shackled by his show for a long time.
It's nice to see him run free.
Yeah,
just a little bit.
I would hate to be shackled by $100 million. Yeah, it really sucks. Really sucks, man. Fuck that.
I mean, get this guy a podcast. Just have him do that. We don't.
I know. We don't want to see.
Well, we do this. We do a live Twitch show every week, and Letterman is our inspiration for our Twitch show.
Oh, do you have guests on that as well?
Yeah, we're trying to, we're gonna blow it out, but yeah, we have a guest, but we've had a musical guest. We're gonna try to have more, and like
we're hoping to do a top tens.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a fun one.
I feel like the top 10 was the real backbone of our country for so many years.
When Anna and I used to do Red Scare live shows, I would sort of format them like a Letterman-esque talk show. We would have little segments and
what
guests.
The live stuff was really successful for you guys, right?
Yeah. We used to do shows at the Bell House, which was like a 350, 400 capacity venue.
Did you book it all yourself and stuff, or was there somebody helping you?
My talent agent helped us.
Are you guys? I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, Dasha. Which of the big three are you represented by?
I'm at Gersh, which I prefer, actually.
Oh, must be nice. I see like a cool indie. It's like when I put my 7-inch out on Matador. I didn't want to sign. I didn't want to sign to Sony yet. I didn't feel like it was the right choice.
I'm also not CAA material, and I get that. Do you guys have any plans on doing virtual live shows, or is that just really dumb?
Well, we just are very limited by the technical
your production
stuff.
Capabilities.
Yeah, we both have like barely functioning laptops, and it's just,
are you not
struggle.
getting?
Yeah, has anyone reached out to aid with your
has.
production at all?
I can't believe some mouth breather hasn't offered to do it for free.
We get,
I'm sure that happens a lot.
Yeah, but we just we need like the right producer who we mesh with, who probably doesn't ask too much of us.
Yeah. I mean, is there a situation where like a producer could come in and give you guys a little baggie and be like, hey, we want to have you guys do a TV show, or like
definitely,
Showtime?
We would love to pivot to video in some fashion for sure. We did one that I produced. We did we do Loveline episodes occasionally where we answer questions, and we did like a live streamed one of those ones that had kind of a cam girl aesthetic, and that was a lot of fun. But it was also like very hard to use the YouTube interface and figure
it's
out
a pain in the ass.
Stream
that's part
stuff.
of the reason. I mean, that's why we do the Twitch thing, is because Mad Decent produces it for us. So we just show up and there's like a studio, because it's the same issue. There's no way. I mean, Jason's a little more technically minded than me, but still, that's a whole nother world.
That would be ideal for us if we could just have a space, a podcasting studio to go to.
It's gonna happen for you.
I think you guys are big enough to do that.
We're not in a rush, you know.
Honestly, Dasha, I feel like you're leaving money on the table every day. I got to be honest with you.
I mean, I don't work at Axe Cap like you do, bro. So I'm like the painter that Wendy has sex with later.
Okay. Thank you for putting it into terms I could understand.
Well, do you feel like what you guys have built with your laptops that don't function very well and all this, like it's a perfect thing and you don't want to mess with it because what you have going is working so well?
No, it just is what it matches the amount of work that we prefer to do and are able to do realistically.
Yeah, sometimes
I think people find it endearing, except when the audio is really, really bad, and then.
Yeah, I mean, I think some of that, those endearing qualities are like any type of lo-fi, weird things put together. Like we record this on FaceTime, like. I'm afraid of changing that sometimes because people do kind of grow accustomed to it and I don't want to mess with it.
Yeah, it's like, do you guys do any sponsored content? Do you do ads?
Yeah, we do ads. We don't do Patreon. Okay. We just do the ads.
Oh, I see. So yeah, so we also don't do that, which I'm not necessarily averse to on principle, but I think that our fans would find it jarring if all of a sudden we were like. Trying to sell them things.
Yeah,
we like to sell things because it's funny.
Yeah, we could do what do you guys? Who are your sponsors?
We're doing a podcast by the guy who played Urkel on Family Matters.
Okay.
We're doing Manscaped, which is like a trimmer for your pubic hair.
Okay.
We've got some hits, to be honest. I mean, those those alone are. I'm happy to talk about that for 30 seconds. Like, it's funny. I also think
definitely
we did get a dick pill ad, which is like obviously a rite of passage in the podcasting world.
For sure.
But I don't. How many shows you guys do one a week and then one Patreon a week?
Yeah.
Yeah, I just think there's
Exactly.
there's a certain energy about people and about podcasts of like this will work for Patreon and this won't, and I think whatever it is that we've got and we're putting out into the world would not work with Patreon. So we just kind of have to. Whereas you guys are like the ideal Patreon candidate, and you would never really have to do any advertising.
Why do you think that is?
I really don't know. You know, there's just some shows that have it and some that don't. And you guys have, I mean, I guess, you know,
never know.
The reply guy energy that you guys probably
the simp
cultivate. Yeah. You know, we don't really have anybody simping for us. We have people like calling us, you know, bad words on YouTube. And like, you know,
we've been called bad words.
Yeah.
I make fun of Patreon all the time. I call it digital panhandling. But I also think that the only part I really don't like about it, to be 100% honest, is that people know. Can you hide how much money you're making, or does it have to be just?
You can hide it. Yeah, you can hide it.
You can
now.
hide it.
But I used to not be able to. I think
I had a hunch about revealing it that it would benefit us, because I think people. I think that there is something that happens psychologically where they're like, "Oh, look how much money they're making." They're like almost making this. I think,
and I'm part of that.
I could be. Yeah.
No, I think that's a very funky little theory, and I think you could be right. And that's.
I think people like to see the numbers climb in their own sick little way.
Yeah.
Well, if they're, I mean, how many people? What do you think the listenership is, though? People who love you and people who hate you. What's the split?
It's a good question for any podcaster.
I think primarily people of our Patreons. I'd like to think most of those people like us, because it seems too pathetic.
Yeah, doing a hate pate is like pretty demented.
I think what's more interesting is we have kind of a fan community, a lot of whom don't even listen to the podcast.
That's amazing.
They just think you guys are hot and want to follow along?
No, they like the culture sort of around they're on like like on the Discord or on the Reddit. It seems like they have their own. They've kind of branched off into their own like community that's less tethered to like consuming the podcast exactly.
No, that is. I mean, that's powerful. That's like really interesting to be able to cultivate that.
You're building
like,
a fucking
by
community.
Accident.
And that's, I mean, honestly, that's what it's about. If you have enough of a community, you could do whatever the fuck you want, and you make enough money to have a fun, happy life. That's like the American dream. But unfortunately, Chris Black does not give off the vibe of I want to give that guy some money.
That's,
you know,
no, that's I don't think that's true. I mean, I guess it's true, but I don't. But you guys sell merch and stuff too, right?
Yeah, we have a merch drop.
New drop
shortly.
Wow!
As soon as we figure out how to use Shopify, the merch will be ready to go.
I think people are just happy to watch. They're growing with you. You know, the fan base. They're figuring out Shopify. You're figuring out Shopify. It's a
they're investing in your motherfucking future.
Exactly, but I think all of that stuff is like it's all got to work together. But do you ever dip your toe into the Reddit or the Discord, or is that like some shit you don't even touch?
No, I'm a poster kind of.
Are you a mod? Are you?
No, I mean I might be a mod, but I don't exercise any of my mod powers. Yeah, I mean then before we had Zizek on, I went on the Discord really late at night and did like a voice chat with like the 20 people that were in there and told them about Zizek and stuff. And I like our fans for the most part. I think they're nice kids and stuff, and it feels good to have like.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I recently there's some people who have a Discord for our podcast, or like it's sort of like an unofficial one, and somebody invited me, like sent me a DM, and when I went in there, like the vibe was very nice, and it was very like, oh my god, you're here, like we have. Hold
on. Why didn't I get invited?
I think for obvious reasons. I mean, you slander Discord a pretty good amount, and
why? What is your beef with Patreon?
I'm more of a man
and
of the
Discord?
people.
I just think it's like
he's a boomer.
Discord, yeah, I'm a boomer. Discord is just nerdy. Like I would just never use something like that. Like it's ugly and dorky. I just wouldn't use something like that. Patreon, I actually don't have a problem with. It's just fun to make fun of it because people get so mad.
Yeah, I mean, whatever. I get it. It is dorky, but I grew up on chat rooms and stuff.
Yeah,
I mean,
but
so did we.
Podcasting, is also quite dorky, just at its core.
Yeah, that's true.
That's very true.
And we're happy to be here.
That's true.
But yeah, it made me yearn and miss the days of the message boards back in the day.
Yeah.
So maybe we'll be on Discord more, Chris.
Yeah, I would love somebody to invite me to a Discord so I could just check out what's going on, see what the vibe is like. Is it cooler than Clubhouse?
Oh,
it is.
Definitely.
It is much cooler than Clubhouse.
I'm just kidding, guys. I know the answer. I knew the answer.
Dasha, thank you so much for potting with us.
Of course. Thanks for having me.
Do you have any closing questions for us? Anything you would want to know?
Do you have any advice for aspiring podcasters?
Look,
not
you guys
me. I don't need advice. But
obviously, not you.
I would
for the
say,
listeners.
I would say don't do it. You're probably not that funny, and people probably don't care what you have to say. That's what I would say. Jason, any advice for the aspiring?
You just got to be yourself, man. No, I think I have none. I mean, I really have none. But I think maybe every week reveal a little bit more about yourself in pieces, just to see how comfortable you are with that. Because the more about yourself you reveal, the more people might like you.
The more parasocial attachments people will form
exactly.
with you.
Yeah. Well, and if you build up enough of those, you've got a fan for life, or a simp for life,
a patron for life.
Patron.
No, but you guys are a good example of this. Actually, we talk about this a lot before we go, but it's like you guys don't need guests. People are there to listen to you guys. Like the guests are a bonus, and that's what you learn. You chase these guests and you care so much, but the real dedicated listeners are just there to hear you, and that's what they really want.
Yeah, podcasting's really about friendship at the end of the day.
Mm-hmm.
Damn, honestly, TJ, I love you, bro.
Love you too. Showing a good example of how two twisted chicks just chat it up every day. That's what people need to see.
That is what people need to see. So, do you have any episodes you want to tease? Any big guests coming up? When does the merch come out? Sell your wares, please.
I've got nothing. We're working on it. The merch is imminent. I'm not going to commit to.
It's going to be a shirt. They're in boxes. They mail them to the house.
Yes.
Thank you for potting, Dasha. We appreciate you taking the time.
Thanks for having me.
Have a great dinner at Odeon.
Thanks. Bye.